Welcome to your energy update with the angels. I'm Devon, Duerr, angel intuitive and spiritual teacher. The overall energy right now is asking us to have patience, but go ahead and make long-term plans. The angels say the energy is looking very good, but we do need to trust that things will open up as the time is right. So let's dive deeper into this guidance, and I have some custom affirmations for you here based on the guidance from the angels to help you open up to it and affirm it. So I'd like to invite you right now to write in the comments below this video, I allow divine timing to show me when it's time to act. I allow divine timing to show me when it's time to act. So let's go deeper into this guidance here because they see the way that you are so ready to start having fun. Get out there and celebrate some things. Really enjoy this energy. Maybe you haven't been able to have the time to celebrate or have fun and you feel challenged to find time to do that. Well, this is why they're saying have patience and make the plans. Do you need to go ahead and start working on planning a vacation or planning some time off from work away from busy things? Do you need to make some plans to have time away from family so that you can work on a creative project that you're super excited about working on? You will know what this is for you, but they are asking us to remember that everything will happen in divine timing if we allow it. So we have to open up to the fact that if there is resistance, sometimes it's because it's not the right time. Maybe there's things going on behind the scenes. Maybe somebody else, we were waiting for them to get on board with the idea. It could also be that you yourself are resistant to it because you're a little fearful of what this is going to bring in for you. But we're going to dive deeper into the guidance so you can understand what that really is for you. Just know that anything you can do right now to start bringing more fun into your life and really taking advantage of falling in love with life, the romance of life. And I'm not just talking about romance in relationships, just the romance of being out on a beautiful day and watching the birds and the squirrels play, right? So we want to look for things to do right now that can bring that fun in, but then go ahead and make long-term plans for fun. Maybe it's time to plan a celebration, have a party, start planning a wedding or a baby shower. But there's something that you're wanting to do, and it is okay to make long-term plans, even if you're feeling really anxious to do it right now. Now, the thing that they want you to know coming up for us is that they see the way you have taken a relationship to a new level, and you have really trusted in the growth that you are having spiritually. You have really trusted in your intuition. So what they're really talking about is the way that you have taken your relationship to your spiritual team to a bigger level. So those of you who have been working on deepening your connection with the angels, they are saying, hey, great job. They also love the way that you've found a new home and the way you exist with your spiritual team. So maybe you joined a group of people who are like-minded with your spiritual beliefs, or maybe you've just found a new way to bring your spiritual team into more of the things you're doing where you feel a little bit more open about it. They're showing that for some of you, this means maybe you even kind of came out of that spiritual closet we joke about here in the spiritual community, which is actually not a joke, right? How many here have been hiding all their intuitive abilities for so many years because of societal conditioning? Well, we're all here to unite together, step out of that spiritual closet and share our light with the world in a bigger way than ever before. And they see the way that you feel more at home doing that, and they're really impressed with you. They're cheering you on. And they also see that this is also where you're feeling a little impatient. You're now so excited to share your life purpose to the world, share your spiritual messages, that you're just ready to go right now. And at the time you're hearing these messages, they want you to know, make sure you are not getting yourself into a place where you're going to have fears around material resources. So the example they'll often show me with something like this, with this particular energy, is where you decide, okay, I'm a light worker, I'm going to go out and I'm going to start my own business doing astrology readings for people, and then all of a sudden you quit your job and you get out there and you start working and it's not going as quickly as you want. You're impatient, and now you're starting to worry how you're going to pay the rent. And they don't want us to do that. They don't want us to put ourselves in a position of uncertain self-employment, because that's just going to put us in a place of lack, and it's actually going to block some of our new clients coming in. Now, that's just a business example there. It could also be a romantic relationship. It could be something to do with your health. So let's say you do want to invest in joining a yoga studio because you want to take your health to a new level, but you have fear around what the yoga what that's going to cost, what kind of commitment that is. Is there another way that you could start doing it online with some of the free YouTube videos, start setting aside money for that, and trust that when you have more clients coming in, you have more abundance, then you'll happily go join that yoga studio. So you know what that is for you, because I just don't want you to think that, because these are group messages, and I always set that intention that it be in the highest interest for you to hear, but you have to know what resonates with you. That's why we do these custom affirmations, so you can really pick up on what's meant for you. But let's just do a quick reminder here in case you're new. The angels want you to always think about these 3 areas of your life when they're giving you guidance, because they want you to have balance in these 3 areas. That one is your health, that's also your fitness. The other one is your relationships, that's romantic, spouse, children, parents, friends, colleagues, bosses, and then also your career and finance. So even if you're retired, you're budgeting, or even if you are totally happy with your career, where are you needing to invest in yourself more? So those are the 3 areas they will always want you to think about. But sometimes when there's a very specific message about needing to not have fear around something, you need to look to those 3 areas. And they want these things to be balanced. They don't want us spending all our time at work and we're ignoring our spouse and our children. They also don't want us giving up on our dreams for our creative projects just to please others either. And then we don't want our health to suffer, of course, because health is wealth. And without our health, how do we even put the energy into career and finance or into family and relationships, right? So it's really important to think about those things and look to see where maybe you are in a place of fear or in a place of lack, and how can we adjust that? And then they want you to really start stepping into that expectation energy that good news is on its way, especially regarding your financial or material resources. And some of this is going to come from you learning something new, adding a new skill to what you're already doing. It might be that the reason it's hard to get going with your business or your creative project is there's just another little thing that you could add to what you're doing to make it easier. And it could also be that maybe you're even starting to feel a little bit apathetic about the work you're doing. And by adding a new skill to it, it brings in that new fresh energy and then opens up the doors to new possibilities. So that's a big thing to keep in mind when you are thinking about, okay, where in my life do I feel fear around material resources? Do I feel stuck? Where do I feel anxious to get going, but it's not happening fast enough? And where do I need to add more fun? And they want you to know your personal power is going to come from trusting in your psychic insights. There are things going on behind the scenes, but we need to release fears that are holding us back. And let's do another affirmation to help you affirm that. So back to what I was saying a little bit earlier about being in the spiritual closet. Many of us shut down our psychic abilities around age 6 to 8 because of societal conditioning, because of the way we were raised, or many of us had some kind of scary experience that caused us to shut them down because we didn't like it. Maybe you really did feel like there was a monster in your closet and it got so bad for you physically because you weren't sleeping and you were so upset that you shut down that psychic ability to sense an energy. It doesn't mean that there really was a monster in there, but there was something that you were energetically picking up on that was scary and you didn't know how to handle it as a young kid. Sometimes the monster in the closet is something you're picking up on with your parents. Maybe there's something going on between them, but you're too young to understand it, but you can feel like it's almost like you're waiting for this other shoe to drop, and that's the monster in the closet. But your little childhood brain interprets it as it being an actual monster, and then you don't sleep, and then your physical body starts to suffer, and you ultimately just shut down the psychic abilities. So let me know in the comments if you had any experiences like that as a kid where you think you might have turned off your intuitive abilities, because I am here to help you reactivate those in bigger ways than other. And here's the affirmation that's customized to this guidance to help you do that right now. So go ahead and write in the comments below this video, I am highly tuned in to my psychic abilities. I am highly tuned in to my psychic abilities. Now, there are other tools we need to bring in so that we can interpret the difference between getting some kind of psychic insight versus our mind worrying. Sometimes our mind will chime in and we'll think, oh, why did I just have that thought? Is that what's going to happen? And then fear steps in and then you start to miss the other guidance, okay? So we want to make sure that we are doing all the things we need to do to keep our spiritual health up, which is grounding exercises, meditation, journaling, affirmations like the one we're doing right now, and of course, calling in help from the angels. I always say a prayer of protection before I connect with the angels, and that also helps me to feel very safe when I'm getting downloads. And the word psychic or psychic abilities can be triggering for people because of societal conditioning. But also so can the word intuition. And I feel the word intuition doesn't even give it enough of an understanding of how psychic you can be. And this is where so much of your personal power is. So until you start owning how psychic you are blocking yourself on one level or another. You might be getting intuitive hits, but you're not allowing it to turn into a premonition or a reading of the energy in the way that you can. And this is what the angels are saying, is you do have this ability. You are here to strengthen your psychic abilities, to strengthen your intuitive abilities, and you were born with these abilities, so you're meant to use them. Now, one of the things that angels want you to know about those around you is there is somebody that you're having a stalemate energy with, or they're pretending like there's not an issue in their life and it's starting to affect your energy. This could also be why you're blocking your psychic abilities, is because you're too focused on someone else in your life. And so there's something that needs to be addressed here. And the angel's reminder here is to remember to always try to do that in a compassionate and loving way, but to also wait for the right time to act on that. So another reference to being patient. So the example here again would be, you had this big spiritual awakening, you woke up, you realized how psychic you were, you started studying all these different practices, astrology, numerology, yoga, and you're ready to share it with the world. And you get up one morning and you call up your sister or brother and you're like, I want you to do this with me. You got to see how awake and amazing this feels. And they're just like, yeah, I don't know about that. And you're going, well, but I see how you're not happy in your relationship and I see how you're not happy in your career and this can help you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into all that woo-woo stuff. Okay, so I know people this has happened to. This has happened to for me with many friends of mine. That's totally okay. They're meant to get there at the right time, that this is time for them. And they have to address whether they're connected to their internal guidance on their own. We cannot flip that light switch for them. And that's a big mistake out there in the spiritual community. I see people wanting to try to get other people to wake up, and that person has to already have something in them that wants to wake up. There has to be a catalyst for that. It's not always a big thing that has to be a catalyst, but if they are really, unwilling to address that they're feeling spiritually unfulfilled, it's going to be between them and their spiritual team when the time is right for them to do it. So the best thing you can do in these situations is just set a good example. Live your life in the highest vibrational way you can. Share, absolutely share, but we don't want to push it on them. We don't want to try to get them to go. I mean, it would be like, surprising them with this huge silent meditation retreat and they don't know anything about that, and they're going, wait, I don't want to go to that. They're not going to get anything out of it anyways because they're not open to it. So just wanted to share that with you because I feel like there's some of us out there that needed that reminder that we're not meant to necessarily flip the light switch on for the other people. We are here to be a support system for that and maybe an influence. So it might be that you're in the right place at the right time for them to have that aha moment. And then now they can lean on you. They can ask you questions. They can realize, all right, you know what? I do want something more meaningful in my life. I do want more spiritual and emotional growth. And the angels see the way you want that for those around you, for those you love. You want everyone to feel the bliss of being connected with your angels, with being connected with your spiritual team, and understanding that you do have these natural born intuitive abilities. But it's the patience that's there. So go ahead and go do your work, you do you, and set that example, shining your light, and that's going to be super valuable. So let's do one more affirmation before we wrap up this guidance here, because again, these are custom affirmations, and I want to remind you that you can come listen to these messages anytime you want. You can come back and listen multiple times. I will often hear a different message by the time it airs. I'm getting these messages right now, and I do ask that these messages are for me too. That's such a bonus of doing this work, as I get guidance for myself as well as I get to share it, which my heart loves doing. But at the time I'm getting these messages, I'm like, oh, they're talking about this is what's going on. But then when it goes live on YouTube, I'll listen to it again and I'm like, oh my gosh, but I missed that. And this is what they mean there. And I'll have all these other epiphanies. So I want you to know you can do that with any video on my channel. So trust your intuition. If you feel like clicking on a video and listening to it, just open up and just see what's there, even if it was from 3 years ago. Okay, I've got some kind of embarrassing videos from 2020 on my channel where my microphone wasn't that good, my lighting wasn't good, and it was just kind of, it was a lot different back then because we're always improving and growing, but I still get stuff out of those videos, and sometimes I go watch them just to see how far I've come and give myself credit for that. And so I encourage you to do that with your own work as well. All right, I got a little off track there because I told you I was going to give you one more custom affirmation to really affirm this guidance and open up to it. And so write in the comments below if you feel called to, I easily assert my independence. I easily assert my independence. So let's go into why I came up with that custom affirmation for the final messages here for this particular video. And it's because of what they were talking about earlier about setting a good example by shining your light as bright as you can, even when those around you don't want to have anything to do with it. So this is that example of maybe you're the only light worker in your family. Everybody else is very traditional religion or traditional beliefs, and they just see the work you're doing as a little out there, or it makes them uncomfortable. Or maybe they support you in the work you're doing, but they're trying to tell you, well, you got to do it the way these other people do it or it's not going to work. And this is where they want you to assert your independence. Don't underestimate yourself. You have these abilities to bring light to the world and bring purpose to the world in the way that you are meant to do it. We all came here to do it differently. And the people that might want to hear messages from you might not want to hear messages from someone else. So you have to open up to the idea that you have this audience waiting for you to shine your light. Even if your husband or your best friend or your aunt or uncle don't want to hear anything about the work you're doing, there are people that do want to hear it, and they're waiting for you to shine that light, assert your independence, stay out of that spiritual closet, and really share your light with the world. Thank you so much for being here. Remember to hit that subscribe button, like and share this video if you haven't. And I just love you all so much. Remember, take time every day to connect with the angels.